Yajnasishtashinas santaha muchyante sarva kilbishaihi bunjate te tvagam papaha ye pachantyatma karanat. Now he brings the idea of food. So why is food brought in? Food is very important. Food is nourishment. Food is what we need for survival. But he says here, offering anything to the Lord, it purifies that thing. So before we do anything, we offer it to the Lord. And here he's taking an example of food. Food is taken, but with this food, it stands for all actions that you can do. So in chapter 17th of Bhagavad Gita, also the food habits, all of this is analyzed, what kinds of food to consume, because food goes to make your thinking. We don't realize how connected what we eat and how we think is. The subtle part of food, Shastra says, goes to make your thoughts. It's very important who is cooking, what is being cooked, how you procured even the ingredients. Is it ethical? Is it ethically grown? All of this energy goes into your food. And that food, the subtle part of food, goes to form your thinking. So it's very interesting to actually watch this, especially if you eat out and everything. Sometimes you may get some emotions, some thoughts that you're shocked. How did this thought come in my mind? It could be something the cook was thinking, that somebody who made the food. That is why in our scriptures, it's very important to even offer the food. When you offer the food to Bhagavan, before you take it, then it's purified. Whoever has cooked it, wherever it's cooked, whatever the ingredients have been, then it is purified as an offering. So yajna shishta shina santaha, the one who looks at life as an offering and whatever they get as prasadam. So these karma yogis he's talking about, yajna shishta shina santaha, the food that you get back from Bhagavan as well after offering is also prasadam. This karma yogi is the one who lives such a lifestyle, offering even the smallest things to Bhagavan, taking whatever he gets or he gets as prasadam. So ethical, it is very important, as I said, to have ethical sources of food. That's why organic, all of this is very important to see. Where is the food? Is it ethically grown? Has anything been hurt? That is also very important. Has anything been hurt to give me food on my plate? Has anything suffered to give me food? And some people say, yes, plants also have feelings. Plants also are living beings. But when you try and chop a carrot, it's not running in the opposite direction. Swami Dayananda used to say, it's inhibited consciousness. It doesn't manifest so much consciousness. And vegetables and plants don't run away from you when you're trying to catch them or trying to cut them. Whereas what do we see? We see animals, all of these creatures, who have more consciousness manifesting through them, they are definitely trying to escape when somebody is trying to take them for food. Because no animal wants to die. Nothing wants to die in creation, actually. Everything has inbuilt survival instinct. But all of this is given for our own consumption. We have to eat something. So Bhagavan has provided plants and we can survive. Definitely, there are so many vegetarians in the world. We can definitely survive without hurting anything. So this is also very important because the actual food that Bhagavan discusses in the 17th chapter that's being offered, non-veg food doesn't even come into the picture. It is just vegetarian food as well. So this is all energy that is talked about. Food is energy. Food is Lord as well. And as I said, the thoughts are very important. What kinds of thoughts? The rajas thoughts we're trying to cut down, those thoughts of ambition, of activity, too much. Sattva is the quality of peace of mind. Sattva is the quality of being benign. So all of the Bhagavad Gita, the training is to develop the sattvic quality of mind, where it's undisturbed. So food, that is why Bhagavan brings in food. And sarva kilbishehi muchyante. So this sarva kilbishehi is all these papa karmas. We have gathered so much, we don't even know. We're carrying. We're not just one body, which is the physical body, because that's the one that we all see. The Shastra actually says you're compositive of three bodies. One is the causal body, one is the subtle body, and then you have the the gross body. So every individual has 3 bodies. All our karmas are carried in our causal body. All the lifetimes that we have done, all these karmic actions and the reactions are there in the causal body. They can manifest at any time, at any place. But living such a lifestyle of this lifestyle of offering, that is what Bhagwan is recommending. What does he say? Sarva kilbishehi muchyante. It will definitely, ultimately free you from that papa, that baggage of karma, the baggage body. You will get free of it. So this is also a very important product of living this lifestyle. This is why Bhagwan is trying to promote this type of lifestyle. So punya, we have to see, there are different types of punya manifesting in people's lives. The one that we love is that one of comfort. When we gain a lot of comforts, a lot of wealth, a lot of popularity, name, fame, we think that is punya manifesting. Yes, it is a type of punya, but the real punya Shastra discusses is that punya, whatever promotes your spiritual growth is punya according to Shastra. Whatever promotes your spiritual growth. So too much artha kama, too much security, too much pleasure can also become an obstacle in life. We see that when one is very, very wealthy, when there's a lot of richness, it is very difficult to come to spiritual life because too many options are there when one has a lot of wealth. So that can also be an obstacle. The other extreme is also an obstacle. When there's too much poverty, when there's not enough to put food on your plate, not enough for survival, that is also an obstacle. So both become obstacle. The best way is to have shoes that fit. Too big shoes can become a problem. Too small can become a problem as well. But generally in spiritual life, usually a simpler life is taken up. A karma yogi life is a simpler life. We don't avoid fulfilling desires. As I've said, I keep reiterating, it is not avoiding the fulfillment of desires, but it is cutting down on what is not necessary. It is not hoarding unnecessarily. It is not overindulging unnecessarily in things. So, the more one feels the value for simplicity, the more one feels joy in that simplicity, you will find that peace coming to you. The simpler the life, in fact, is more peaceful the life. Even let's take our own households. How much have we analyzed how much stuff we really store and how much we need? Books and other things stored in the house in different places. If you empty the shelves of many things, actually the homes would look like palaces. There would be so much space, especially these box houses in UK. They're already tiny and squished. Adding all this extra stuff and keeping all this stored, it is good to examine. Do I really look at this thing? Do I really want this thing? What attachment do I have it? Can I live without it? And when you simplify your house, you'll see it is very nice to walk into a room where there's space. You actually feel that space inside when you walk into a room with there's space. So even with the tiniest things, life changes, the lifestyle, you can make changes, and the simplicity will also lead to happiness. Of course, we don't need to be Orthodox monks. Generally, Orthodox monks or renunciates in all traditions, they take the vow of chastity, poverty, and obedience and stability. Especially the Christian monks, they have that. They take the vow of that. But any Buddhist monk, Hindu monks, any kind of renunciate, we're not talking about renunciation of worldly goods. No, simplicity in life that will help with the spiritual growth. So too much of a good thing can also hinder your growth, and punya can turn into papa. Spiritually speaking, punya can turn into papa. So papam, what he's discussing here, sarva kilbishehi, papam is whatever obstructs spiritual growth. That's how we should understand it. This is called kilbisham in this shloka. And he says all the obstacles to the spiritual pursuit vanish, all the kilbisham vanish. How? When you live this ethical lifestyle, when you live the simple lifestyle, just a simple person, living this lifestyle, you will find all the obstacles vanish. And the idea behind all of this is that this idea of shaucham, Shaucham, or inner purity. Outer purity, of course, is always there. Outer purity, we don't need to discuss and we don't need to train people, because generally we know what outer purity is. It's keeping your body clean, keeping the immediate environment clean, keeping finally the community and also the surroundings clean. That is outer purity. But inner purity is hardly discussed. Inner purity is mental purity that Shastra brings in again and again. For the spiritual journey in life, one has to develop inner purity, purity of mind. That is why even when we do the pujas, when we start, the first thing we do is symbolic. Achyutaya namaha. This is called the achamanam. So we clean symbolically inside as well by sipping water, because water is always has a purifying effect. So Achyutaya namaha, Anantaya namaha, Govindaya namaha, symbolic cleansing of oneself. And even the water, before we begin the ritual of puja, the water itself is cleansed. How? We chant, Gange, Gange cha Yamune chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhim Kuru. We actually invoke the holy rivers, all the holy rivers in Bharata. We invoke in that water before we begin the puja. So we purify symbolically, purify the water. Clothes should be clean. As I said, daily nitya karma to be done, brushing one's teeth, doing all of this. External environment, cleaning the external environment. Neighborhood also. In India, sometimes I've seen the habit, they keep houses are impeccably spotless, but they chuck the rubbish immediately outside the house. So it's not my property, it doesn't matter. I've seen that happen. The houses are so beautifully clean. And soon, oh, where are you going to throw the trash? No, outside the window. Yeah, so it's somebody else's garden. That type of mentality is also not shaucham. The whole world is your property. It is given. So that is why I have to clean this. Mental impurities, this type of lifestyle, kilbishehi, these are the main things we have to clean. The jealousy, the greed, gossiping, hatred, all of these negative qualities, everybody has. We don't have to feel guilty for having, because whole of Jagat has. Nobody is perfect. We're born with negative qualities. If somebody says, I never get such thoughts, again, we'll say, we can trigger you to get the thoughts, because they are there. Everybody has. It's very natural to have, but they have to be managed. They have to be purified. How are they purified? They're purified through bringing your intellect in to see they are useless in life. They're not going to get you anywhere, not going to make you progress materially or spiritually. So all of this we have to eliminate by practicing pratipaksha bhavana, or the opposite behavior. When you see jealousy in you, think of the opposite of that person. Whoever you feel has got something you wish you had. Think the opposite. Feel happy that they have those qualities. They have earned those qualities. They have deserved those qualities. They've been blessed with all that quality, and feel it is part of Bhagavat Vibhuti. It is all Bhagavan's creation after all. Even the other person manifesting is a manifestation of the Lord himself. So whatever greatness you see in others, think of it as belonging to Bhagavan himself. In that way, we can get rid of jealousy. And this is the recommendation of the Shastra. You do the opposite. Whenever the mind has some negative quality, think totally opposite. So negative thoughts, even though they come without our volition, even though they come not entertained by us, we don't want them. They come because of some karmic reaction, because of some other reasons. We don't need to delve into the causes of negative thoughts or bad thoughts. All we need to do is manage them. Manage them meaning I don't go along with them, I don't act on them. So alertness, when you're alert in your life, you break this conditioning of negative thinking patterns. There's a beautiful saying that is said in the scriptures, and many traditions actually say it, but watch your thoughts, because why? They become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits because they become your character. And watch your character because your character becomes your destiny. So on all levels, we're always alert. We're living an alert life, a watchful life. On all levels, we are aware of what is happening. So he says here, in this verse, he said, Bunjate te tvagam papaha. Krishna criticizes the people who live only for self-interest. They only eat papa, he says. The people, he's using food as an example, but he's saying if you don't offer the food, if you cook only for yourself, you don't offer what you are you're taking for yourself, you don't give to others, you don't contribute, what happens? Bunjate te twagam papaha. You're eating papa only. You attract unpleasant results in your life. So these people, such people are not karma yogis. Selfish people who live with self-interest. There's no thought for the other. It is my needs need to be met. My comfort needs to be met. It doesn't matter what others are going through. This type of mentality is what Bhagavan says. If you notice some of it, come out of it. You can grow out of it. It is not that you're stuck with that type of mind. No, if you want to change, you have the power to change. You have the will to change. And you contribute, start contributing. If you, there's a wonderful section in the Sama Veda which says, get over the inability to give. How? By giving. You do totally the opposite. Get over the inability to share. How? By sharing. Get over the inability to contribute. How? By contributing. So if you find the inability to do something which is recommended, you do totally the opposite. So this is what he is saying here. And ye atmakaranat pachanti. These are the people who cook for themselves. These are the people who cannot do dhanam, who cannot give charity, which is very important in the Vedic culture. You block the flow of energy. If it doesn't leave you, if things come to you and it doesn't go out of you, there's a block in the flow of energy. And that is what he's trying to prevent. Go with the natural flow of life. Everything, as we saw, is cyclical. We saw there are many, many cycles in this creation that keep this whole jagat going. You be part of that cycle. You keep the whole jagat going. You simply act as an instrument. That is such also another beautiful way to see, like the flute of Krishna's Murali. Be hollow like the flute. Let Bhagavan play his tunes through you. That is what Bhagavan is, what is being said here. So, annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajnad bhavati parjanyaha yajnah karma samudbhavaha. So again, the idea of cyclical, of the cycle he's bringing up, and he's bringing up a cycle, the food cycle. Living beings, he says, are born of food. And food is born of rain. Rain is born of this yajna. And this yajna is born of punya. So this has a very deep meaning, which means he's talking about, again, the harmony and balance in this universe. The karma yoga lifestyle has been seen as a purifying one, the one that brings you mental peace. It brings you mental calm. And this karma yoga is an order in this universe. It is not just governing your own life. It is not just that you do wrong action, you get wrong result. What he's saying by this verse is that it very much affects your actions, very much affects whether even the rains happen in time. Your action affects what the cycles go through. So the laws are linked to you. The way you live your life is connected to the cycles of this universe as well. Linked to dharma, which is the order of things in this universe. Dharanat iti dharma. Dharanat dharma, which means that which sustains and connects all, is dharma. It maintains the harmony of creation. So dharma is an often misunderstood word. It is translated as righteousness, right behavior, right conduct. Yes, it is all that, but it is much more. It has so much depth. It is not translatable into any language. It is only something to be understood as per the context. It is the one thing that sustains, maintains the harmony of all this creation. And it is based on the interconnectedness of all of us. It is based on this interconnected feeling of this whole universe interconnected with everything else. And this delicate balance, we see everything interconnected. As we saw some examples from nature, but nature is the greatest example of interconnectedness. Ecosystems, how do the ecosystems work? Living organisms, they interact with each other. They interact also with the non-living elements in their environment. such as soil, temperature, water, heat, sunlight. Everything is essential for survival because it's all interconnected. That is amazing, interconnection. We saw also the trees produce oxygen as we breathe out carbon dioxide, interconnectedness. This idea is not just in Vedic scripture. This has been discovered in all countries, all cultures. There was a great scientist, 18th century scientist and explorer. You may have heard of him, Alexander von Humboldt, I think his name is. But he was the first to explain in the West the fundamental functions of the forest for the ecosystem and the climate as well. He was the first to explain in the 18th century, and his claim was, after his research, whole life he spent in research, what did he discover? The whole world is one single organism, interconnected organism. This he scientifically researched, and he said this to the world. He proclaimed this. He discovered, his discovery was, this whole world is one interconnected organism. So it's not dependent on culture or country or creed. It doesn't matter at all. The law of dharma, this interconnectedness, is sensed by all beings everywhere. In the hymns of the Vedas, this is known also as Rita. Rita is a beautiful word because it is that which is responsible for the proper functioning of the natural and moral orders of this universe. Rita represents this abstract concepts such as law, order, truth, and this regularity, this discipline that we see that is happening in this universe as well. So it is a very beautiful word. Today I had recorded for the Vishnu Sahasranama, but very wonderful word which links to this class, Bhuta Bhavanaha, one name given for Lord Vishnu, Bhuta Bhavanaha. How does he sustain this? Rita is connected to his name here. How does he sustain this universe? He doesn't have to act. Why is Lord Vishnu seen reclining in the cosmic ocean? He is seen reclining, closing his eyes, and he's not acting. He's not acting, he's not doing anything. It is by his mere presence, Lord's mere presence, that the universe is nourished. The whole, just by being there, it is nourished. He doesn't have to act, he doesn't have to do anything. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is a beautiful section which says, Bisha smat vataf pavate, Bisho deti suryaha, Bisha smat agnischendrascha, Mrityurdhavati panchama iti. It is out of fear of that Ishvara, that Lord, that the wind blows. It is out of fear alone of that Lord that the sun regularly rises and sets. It is out of fear that fire behaves as it should behave. And it is out of fear of that Lord that even death and Indra, the king of the heavens, perform their respective duties. Now, this fear has to be understood. It is not fear as such. It is that presence of the Lord makes this whole universe function as it should. It is the very presence that gives the energy, gives the life, gives the sustenance to all the orders to function. Lord Vishnu is depicted in that first stanza as the architect, divine architect of this whole universe. He knows everything in and out because he pervades everything. I'd also brought into that he talked about the golden ratio. He had talked about the golden ratio, which is a unique mathematical relationship. The golden ratio in creation is what? Bhagavan's signature. It is an intelligence. This whole universe is intelligence put together. You should see that. Golden ratio is found in everything. It's sometimes called the divine proportion. It is found in the petals of leaves. It is found even in vegetables, pine cones, trees, everywhere you look. It is a signature of the Lord. He has put his signature, his stamp in this whole universe. So that means what? He is everywhere. He is in everything. And anyone with common sense will sense that there is an order, there is an intelligence to this whole creation. It is not randomly put together. Everything running in place is because of this intelligence. And because of this intelligence, he says, Annat bhavanti bhutani. All beings are born of this food. They are sustained by this food and they go back to food. Okay. Annat bhavanti bhutani is also an order. Beings are born from this food. We need food for our survival. So that is why he's bringing it up here. Food is also very important. We can survive only, I think any physical body can survive around 3 weeks, I heard, without taking any food, and only 4 days without water. So it is very important, this whole cycle, annat bhavanti bhutani, all beings are born of food, sustained by food, and they go back to food, which means what? Earth to earth, ashes to ashes. You become compost for other plants and everything to grow. That is what we do. It's all recycled. Your physical body is also helping other things to grow ultimately. And in the Taittiriya Upanishad, he says, Annat bhutani jayante, jatan anyena vaddante, because annagum hi bhutanam jeshtam. So everything that, everything lives on food, and in the end will merge into food. The food is verily the greatest thing in creation. Everything runs on energy. World runs on energy. All cars run on energy, machinery, planes, microwaves, fuel is needed for any particular machinery. The physical body is also a machine. The food is needed. Food is definitely needed for this physical body, which is a machine. The mind also needs. Mind devoid of food also, it is not going to function properly. You'll find if you do a lot of fasting and everything, the mind becomes quite dull after some time. So this is also the idea here. The mind needs fuel. Food and water are the fuels for life to function. And this food is converted to prana, which is the vital airs, physiological functions. This helps you to live in life. But how is this food gained? That is what he's saying. Parjanyat anna sambhavaha, he says, Parjanyat anna sambhavaha. Because of timely rains alone, food is produced. Because of the order, only food is produced. Parjanya is a devata, again, a name given. Parjanya is, again, one of these devatas, these lords that govern the order of the rains as well. Varuna, okay, another name for Varuna as well. So these devatas have to work to provide the food. And how do they work? How interesting. If you do your duty, they work. If you do what is to be done in your life, they function. So you're very much connected to the rains. Your dependence on your food is connected to how you act in your life. That is what Bhagavan is saying. It's a cycle here, the food cycle. You contribute towards the devatas by doing your duty, doing what is asked of you, what is needed of you. Then the samashti, the whole, the total, and the vyashti, the individual, what? We create the rains together. How amazing. We create the rains together. This is all based on my offering to the yajna, the worship of Ishvara. So for anything we need rains. We know that for crops to be successful, especially in India, in dry climates, it's very, very important that we have this, propitiation of the God, because water is a commodity. Here we take it for granted. We leave our taps running. That is also something we should watch, not wasting water. There are many countries don't have enough water and everything. We see in India, especially when I was there during my time there, there's huge disputes for the Kaveri River between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. Who is going to get most? Always that dispute is going on because of, again, droughts, no rains for food. Who is responsible for the rains? Who is responsible? So it is not just man responsible. You cannot just seed the clouds and produce rain. Seeding clouds is an artificial way of producing rain, but you will only get 10%, 15% success. China actually fires. They have Chinese rain rockets into the clouds. They fire particles into the clouds to produce rain. But there's no guarantee with these artificial methods. It is only due to this yajna, this cycle, Bhagavan says, that rains come. It is due to your living in order with the harmony with the nature, that the rains come. And yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. The rains are born, he says, from invisible factors. This invisible factor is punya. You generate punya by doing your actions. You generate punya by contributing. So this, you generate for yourself on one level, but what Bhagavan is saying here is you generate for the total level also. If everybody in society acts in ethical way, in ethical life, definitely the gods of nature will bless. You maintain the ecological balance. And this yajna samudbhavaha, he said, yajnaha karma samudbhavaha. This yajna, how is it born? By sitting still and not contributing, it doesn't happen. Karma samudbhavaha, you have to do activity in life. You have to act in life. By living this karma yoga lifestyle, by being aware of this rita in the universe, by taking responsibility of your actions, because actions govern the orders we've seen in this verse. Even your food comes because of certain actions you take. So karma is performed with the awareness of Ishvara. We are born out of food. Food is because of rain. Rain is because of cosmic harmony. And cosmic harmony is because of our actions. How amazing. It is a cycle. So the ultimate cause of all human beings is karma alone. Your own action, your own contribution to this recycling is what creates all of this orders to take place. And how do I understand this world, this yajna? There's a beautiful prayer, Vedic mantra. We can study it, whoever is interested in Vedic chanting, but it's a famous one, Purusha Suktam, which envisages the Lord as a cosmic form. And it begins with a beautiful stanza, Sahasra Shirisha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishvato Vritva Atyatishtat Shangulam. Says that he is the one with the 1,000 heads, which means what? All heads are his. Countless heads means all heads are his. He is the one with the 1,000 eyes, which means what? All the eyes are his. There's not, he sees through all the eyes. He has 1,000 legs, all these bodies, they're all his. He is within every single one. And he manifests as this world in this world. He manifests this world and he is this world. So if he is the world, then I will respect this world. I will respect his manifestation. Every day we're chanting this. Bhuv pado yasya nabir viyada sura nilas chandra suryocha netre karnavasha shirodhyo mukhamapi dahano yasya vasteyam abdihi antastam yasya vishwam sunararakagago bhogi gandharva daityehi Chitram ram ramyate tam tribhuvana vapusham Vishnu misham namami. I bow to Lord Vishnu, who is the Lord of the three worlds. The three worlds are his body. That is what you're saying. The three worlds, Tribhuna. The three worlds are your body. The earth is his feet. The sky is his navel. The wind is his breath. The sun and the moon are his eyes. The directions are his ears, and the heaven is his head. Fire is his face, and his ocean is the abdomen. And in him is situated the universe with diverse kinds of, all kinds of things, gods, men, birds, cattle, serpents, Gandharvas, Daityas, everything is situated with him. And this last part says, all are playing their roles in wonderful ways. Chitram Bram Brahmete Tam Tribhuvana Vapusham Vishnu Misham Namami. I bow to such a Lord. Now, if I have this vision of the Lord, how will I live my life? I will not pollute anything in this world. Even throwing a little garbage into this world is throwing on Bhagavan. I will watch, alert life, knowing that his whole form has become this Jagat. No, even with the slightest thing, no littering, no spitting, no dirtying, because everything is the Lord's form. And this is how he's bringing in Bhagavan in his ecology verses, how we live in harmony with the whole. Because when we live in harmony with the whole is going to bless us back.